Before we begin drifting through the facts, take a slow breath and imagine the desert at night. The sun has long disappeared beyond the horizon, and the heat of the day has softened into a gentle warmth. The sand cools, the wind slows, and above it all, the pyramids rest exactly where they have rested for thousands of years. They are silent, unmoving, and patient. In this video, we're not rushing through history. We're slowing down with it. We're letting the stones speak quietly. These are not loud facts or dramatic discoveries. These are sleepy facts meant to calm the mind, soften the thoughts, and gently carry you back through time. So settle in, relax your shoulders, and let the ancient world unfold slowly, one stone at a time. Now let's begin with the first fact, and this one is about stillness. The pyramids have stood in silence for more than 4,500 years. That means they were already ancient when the Roman Empire rose. Ancient when Cleopatra ruled Egypt. Ancient when the first pages of many holy books were written. Through countless generations, wars, storms, and shifting civilizations, the pyramids remained exactly where they were built. Imagine how many nights have passed over them, how many stars have crossed the sky, while these stones waited below, unmoving. Each block has absorbed centuries of moonlight, desert wind, and quiet. The pyramids do not rush time, they stretch across it. Standing near them feels different because they exist on a rhythm far slower than human life. They remind the mind to slow down, to breathe deeper, to let go of urgency. They are not monuments to speed or power, but to patience. And in the stillness of the desert night, they feel less like buildings and more like calm guardians of time itself. As we gently move forward, the second fact invites us closer to the stones themselves. Each pyramid is made from millions of limestone blocks, some weighing as much as several tons. These stones were cut, moved, and placed without modern machines, without engines, without electricity. Imagine the quiet determination of workers moving stone after stone, day after day, year after year. No rushing, no shortcuts, just slow, steady effort guided by knowledge passed through hands and generations. When you think about it slowly, it becomes less overwhelming and more meditative. One block at a time, one careful placement after another. The pyramids were not built in a single dramatic moment. They were built through routine, repetition, and patience, much like breathing, much like sleep itself. Each stone rests against another with quiet confidence, trusting the balance, trusting the structure. Even now, thousands of years later, those stones remain where they were placed, holding one another in a silent agreement that has never been broken. Now we drift softly into the third fact, which is about alignment and calm precision. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned with incredible accuracy to the four cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The precision is so exact that even today, with modern instruments, it's difficult to replicate. And yet, this alignment was achieved thousands of years ago, likely by observing the stars, the slow movement of the heavens above. Imagine ancient builders watching the night sky carefully, night after night, waiting for the right moment, the right position, the right alignment. There was no rush. The stars would return. The sky would repeat its patterns. This wasn't frantic work, it was patient observation. The pyramid became a quiet reflection of the cosmos itself, grounded in earth but guided by the sky. When you picture this, it feels calming rather than mysterious. humans watching stars in silence, stones placed with intention. A structure designed to sit peacefully between Earth and universe. Even now, when the desert is quiet and the sky is clear, the pyramids feel connected to something larger, something slow and eternal, as if they were meant not just to be seen, but to be felt. As the weight of the first three truths settles softly into the sand, we now drift into the next layer of the story. And this brings us naturally to fact 4. By the time the pyramids were built, Egypt already had centuries of architectural memory. These structures did not appear suddenly as a miracle. They were the quiet result of generations of trial, patience, and learning. Earlier tombs, known as mastebas, were low, flat, and rectangular, built of mud brick and stone. Over time, builders experimented with stacking these forms higher and higher, slowly reaching upward, almost as if the earth itself was learning how to rise toward the sky. The step pyramid of Djoser stands as a gentle ancestor to the smooth pyramids, its layered form revealing the gradual evolution of an idea rather than a sudden leap. What makes this fact feel sleepy is the sense of continuity. Each generation added a little knowledge, corrected small mistakes, refined angles, tested stone strength, and passed this wisdom forward quietly. The Great Pyramid was not rushed into existence. It was the final breath of a long architectural conversation that unfolded slowly over centuries, with no urgency, only persistence. When you imagine this process, the pyramids feel less like monuments and more like memories crystallized into stone. And from that long memory, we drift gently into Fact 5, which belongs to the workers themselves. Contrary to old myths, the pyramids were not built by slaves chained under cruelty. Archaeological evidence tells a much calmer story. The builders were skilled laborers, farmers during flood seasons, craftsmen, stonecutters, and organizers who lived near the construction sites. They were fed, housed, and respected because building a pyramid was considered sacred work. These workers slept in nearby settlements, ate bread, onions, and beer, and worked in rotating teams. Their days followed a steady rhythm, cutting stone, dragging blocks, resting, praying, and returning to work. Injuries were treated, bones healed, lives continued. This changes the emotional texture of the pyramids completely. Instead of pain and suffering, the stones carry human breath, shared effort, and collective purpose. At night, after the work ended, the desert would grow quiet. Fires would dim, stars would appear overhead, and thousands of people would rest, knowing they were participating in something meant telling eternity, not just power. That slow, communal devotion still seems to echo softly between the stones. As that calm human presence lingers, we move seamlessly into Fact 6, which reveals how deeply the pyramids were connected to the sky. The ancient Egyptians did not see the heavens as distant or abstract. They believed the stars were a continuation of life itself. The pyramids were carefully aligned with celestial points, especially the northern stars that never set. These stars represented eternity, permanence, and the afterlife. The narrow shafts inside the Great Pyramid were not ventilation tunnels as once thought, but symbolic pathways aligned with specific stars, meant to guide the soul of the pharaoh upward into the heavens. Imagine lying inside the pyramid at night, surrounded by total darkness, while above you, unseen, the stars slowly wheel across the sky. The structure itself becomes a silent bridge between Earth and cosmos. The pyramid does not shout this purpose, it whispers it. Even today, its angles still, points skyward with calm precision, reminding us that it was never meant only for the living world, but for a peaceful transition beyond it. And now, as the stars fade gently into the early dawn, we arrive at fact 7, which speaks of time itself. The pyramids were already ancient when Cleopatra ruled Egypt. By the time Rome rose to power, the pyramids were already wrapped in layers of legend and mystery. They have outlived languages, empires, religions, and borders. Sandstorms have passed over them countless times. Dynasties rose and fell while the pyramids remained still, watching without judgment. What makes this fact profoundly sleepy is realizing that these structures do not resist time. They simply allow it to pass. They do not hurry decay, nor do they demand preservation. They exist in a long, quiet relationship with the desert, accepting erosion grain by grain. Standing before them today is like standing beside time itself, feeling how small human urgency really is. The pyramids do not rush. They do not explain themselves. They remain patiently, calmly, endlessly. Now that we've slowly walked through the stones, the silence, and the immense patience behind the pyramids, we gently move forward into the next layer of their story. And this brings us to fact 8. This fact belongs to the quiet alignment of the pyramids with the sky above. The ancient builders did not place these structures randomly on the desert floor. They paid close attention to the stars, especially the slow, steady movement of the heavens. The Great Pyramid, in particular, is aligned with astonishing precision to the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The alignment is so accurate that even modern instruments struggle to explain how it was achieved without advanced tools. Imagine standing in the desert thousands of years ago, watching the stars drift slowly across the night sky, night after night, season after season. No clocks, no satellites, just patience, memory, and deep observation. The builders likely used the slow rotation of circumpolar stars that never set to find true north. They watched the sky in silence, letting time stretch out, letting patterns reveal themselves. There is something deeply calming about this idea. Humans standing beneath the stars, not rushing, not forcing answers, simply observing until the universe quietly showed them the way. The pyramids, in this sense, feel less like buildings and more like frozen moments of cosmic alignment, forever pointing toward the same directions, forever connected to the slow rhythm of the sky. As we let that image fade gently into the background, we move into fact 9, which belongs to the inner stillness of the pyramids themselves. Inside these massive structures, the air is calm, cool, and heavy with silence. Sound behaves differently inside the pyramid chambers. Voices soften, echoes fade quickly. Even footsteps seem to lose their sharpness. The thick stone walls absorb noise, creating an environment that feels naturally hushed, almost like a place designed for stillness. Some researchers and visitors have described a strange sense of calm when standing inside, as if the pyramid encourages quiet reflection simply by its shape and materials. The chambers were not built to be large or ornate. They were narrow, simple, and deliberate. Everything inside feels intentional and restrained. No unnecessary decoration, no excess space, just stone, angles, and silence. It's easy to imagine ancient priests or builders moving slowly through these passages, carrying lamps that flickered softly against the walls, their movements careful, their voices barely above a whisper. The pyramid does not demand attention, it absorbs it, and in doing so, It creates a space where the mind naturally slows down, where thoughts soften, and where time feels less urgent. From that quiet interior, we gently step outward again into Fact 10, which focuses on the slow and almost meditative process of building the pyramids themselves. Despite popular myths, the pyramids were not built by slaves in frantic conditions. Archaeological evidence suggests they were built by skilled workers who lived nearby, supported by organized communities. These workers followed rhythms, working during cooler hours, resting, eating together, sleeping, and returning the next day. Stone by stone, day after day, year after year. The work was repetitive, steady, and slow. Blocks were dragged carefully across sand, likely lubricated with water to reduce friction. Ramps were adjusted, rebuilt, and extended gradually as the pyramid grew taller. Nothing about the process was rushed. It was an enormous task, but it unfolded patiently, almost ritualistically. Imagine the soundscape of that construction, not loud machinery, not constant chaos, but the scrape of stone, the soft calls of coordination, the wind moving across the desert, and long pauses between efforts. In many ways, the pyramids are monuments not just to engineering, but to endurance and consistency. And now we drift naturally into Fact 11. At different times of day, the pyramids appear to change personality. In the early morning, the stone takes on soft pink and golden hues as the sun rises slowly over the desert. Shadows stretch long across the sand, emphasizing the pyramid's sharp edges and perfect geometry. At midday, under the harsh sun, the pyramids seem almost still and silent, their color fading into pale beige, blending with the desert itself. But it's during sunset that the pyramids feel most dreamlike. The light becomes warm and low, wrapping the stone in deep oranges and soft reds. Shadows deepen, the edges soften. As the sun sinks, the pyramids slowly lose detail, becoming silhouettes against the sky. And when night finally arrives, they fade almost completely into darkness, becoming quiet shapes beneath the stars. This daily cycle of light and shadow feels like a slow breath, the pyramids waking gently with the morning, resting under the sun, and falling asleep again at night. It's a rhythm that has repeated itself for thousands of years, unchanged, steady, and deeply calming. The pyramids do not move. They do not speak. They do not glow or demand attention. They simply remain, allowing light, time, and silence to pass over them again and again. And as we continue, even more layers of their quiet story will begin to reveal themselves. As the soft stillness of the pyramids settles deeper into the night, we gently arrive at the next layer of their mystery. So now we drift into the next thought, the next quiet truth, where time itself seems to slow even further. This next fact belongs to the way the pyramids interact with sound and silence. When you stand inside certain chambers of the Great Pyramid, your voice behaves differently. A whisper can linger longer than expected, while louder sounds soften almost immediately, as if absorbed by the stone. The limestone walls do not echo sharply like modern buildings. Instead, they seem to cradle sound, holding it briefly, then letting it fade away gently. Imagine standing alone in one of these chambers late at night, the air cool, the walls massive and unmoving. A single breath becomes noticeable. A soft step feels louder than it should. This strange acoustic calm creates an atmosphere that feels deeply meditative, almost dreamlike. Some researchers believe the design unintentionally or perhaps deliberately created spaces where sound never became harsh or overwhelming. The pyramid does not shout back at you, it listens. And in that listening silence, the mind naturally slows. Thoughts soften, and the space feels less like a tomb and more like a resting place for time itself. As that silence settles, we slowly move onward, deeper into another gentle realization. This next fact belongs to the materials themselves, the stone that has endured thousands of years beneath sun, wind, and stars. Most of the pyramid's core is made of limestone, but not just any limestone. Much of it was quarried locally, while the smoother outer casing stones came from farther away, transported with immense care. These casing stones were once polished so finely that they reflected sunlight, causing the pyramid to glow softly during the day. At night, under the moon, the surface would have appeared pale and luminous, almost like a frozen wave of light rising from the desert. Imagine lying on the sand thousands of years ago, looking up at a structure that caught moonlight and starlight, glowing quietly against the dark sky. The stones were fitted so precisely that even today, a thin blade cannot easily slip between them. This precision wasn't hurried. Each block was placed with patience, alignment, and care. The pyramid is not just a structure of stone. It is a structure of calm effort, built slowly, deliberately, without modern noise or machines. That patience is still felt today. The stones seem to hold the memory of quiet hands, steady breathing, and slow, purposeful movement. And as we continue drifting forward, another peaceful thought unfolds. This one belongs to the interior passages, which are not straight or simple, but carefully angled and aligned. Walking through them requires bending, slowing down, paying attention. The pyramid does not allow haste. Its corridors gently force you to move with intention. Some passageways slope downward, others rise gently upward, creating a physical rhythm that mirrors a mental one. Each step feels deliberate. Each movement requires awareness. In this way, the pyramid subtly guides the body into stillness. There is no rushing inside. The low ceilings encourage quiet posture. The narrow paths reduce sound. Even the air feels heavier, calmer, slower. These design choices may have been practical, but their effect is deeply soothing. The pyramid feels like a place where speed dissolves, where urgency has no meaning. You move not because you must, but because the space invites you forward, one calm step at a time. Now, as the desert night deepens further, we reach another gentle truth. This fact belongs to the way the pyramids align with the stars. Long before telescopes or modern astronomy, the builders carefully studied the sky. Certain shafts inside the Great Pyramid align with specific stars that were significant in ancient Egyptian belief. These stars were associated with eternity, the afterlife, and the soul's journey beyond the physical world. At certain times, starlight could travel directly down these narrow shafts, touching the inner chambers briefly before fading away again. Imagine that moment deep inside a massive stone structure, a thin beam of starlight slowly sliding across a wall, then disappearing. No noise, no ceremony, just light visiting stone, then quietly leaving. This alignment wasn't accidental. It required observation, patience, and deep respect for cosmic rhythms. The pyramids are not only grounded in earth, they are gently connected to the sky. They stand as a bridge between the still desert below and the slow-moving stars above, holding both in a state of calm balance. As these thoughts settle, the pyramids feel less like monuments and more like sleeping giants, still, silent, and deeply aware of time passing around them. They do not resist the night. They welcome it. And from here we can continue gently onward into the next set of facts, where the pyramids reveal even more of their quiet endurance, their relationship with time, and the calm wisdom hidden in their shadows. Now the night settles even deeper over the desert, and we move gently into the next layer of the story, where fact 16 quietly waits. This fact belongs to the silence of the pyramids themselves. Today, when you stand near them, there is a strange calm in the air. But thousands of years ago, these structures were surrounded by footsteps, prayers, and the steady rhythm of work. Over time, all of that faded, leaving behind a silence so complete it feels intentional. The pyramids now absorb sound rather than reflect it. The vast stone surfaces, the open desert, and the dry air create an atmosphere where noises dissolve quickly. A spoken word seems to fall softly to the sand instead of echoing. This silence is not empty. It is heavy, patient, and layered with time. It feels as if the pyramids are listening rather than speaking, holding on to every sound they have ever heard. Standing there at night, under a sky full of stars, the quiet becomes almost comforting, wrapping around the mind like a blanket. The pyramids teach that even the grandest creations eventually settle into stillness. As that silence lingers, we drift naturally into fact 17, which belongs to the way the pyramids interact with light. During the day, sunlight slides slowly across their stone faces, revealing subtle changes in color-warm golds in the morning, pale whites at noon, and deep amber tones by evening. But at night, under moonlight, the pyramids transform completely. The sharp edges soften, and the massive structures appear gentler, almost dreamlike. Moonlight pools along their slopes, creating smooth gradients instead of harsh shadows. This quiet glow makes the pyramids seem less like monuments and more like sleeping mountains rising from the sand. Ancient Egyptians may have noticed this calming effect, as the moon played an important role in their understanding of time and the afterlife. The slow movement of moonlight across the pyramids mirrors the slow passage of centuries, reminding us that these structures were built not just to be seen, but to exist peacefully across time. From that soft moonlit image, we move slowly into fact 80, which centers on the interior air of the pyramids. Inside, the temperature remains surprisingly stable, cooler than the desert heat outside during the day, and warmer than the cold night air after sunset. This balance creates a quiet, enclosed atmosphere that feels almost protective. The stone walls hold on to warmth and release it slowly, creating a steady environment that does not rush or change suddenly. Breathing inside a pyramid feels different, slower, deeper, more deliberate. The air has rested there for centuries, moving gently through narrow passages and chambers. It carries the faint scent of stone and time, untouched by modern noise. This controlled environment may have helped preserve objects and inscriptions, but it also creates a deeply calming sensory experience. The pyramid does not feel empty inside. It feels held, contained, and intentionally still. And now we arrive at fact 19, where the pyramids reveal their connection to eternity. The ancient builders designed these structures not for the living, but for what comes after life. Every stone placement, every chamber alignment, every sealed passage was meant to last forever. The pyramids were built with patience, repetition, and an acceptance of time far beyond a single lifetime. This mindset is what makes them feel so peaceful today. They were never meant to rush or change. They were meant to remain. As centuries passed, empires rose and fell. Storms came and went, yet the pyramids stayed still, watching quietly. This sense of permanence creates a calming effect on the mind. When you think about the pyramids, worries feel smaller, time feels slower, and the present moment stretches gently. The pyramids do not demand attention, they simply exist, reminding us that stillness can be powerful and patience can shape eternity. The desert air cools further, the stars grow brighter, and the pyramids rest quietly in the sand, exactly as they have for thousands of years. Now, as the night grows deeper and the desert air cools, we gently arrive at Fact 20, which belongs to the quiet alignment of the pyramids with the stars. Long after the sun disappears behind the dunes, the pyramids seem to awaken under the night sky. The ancient Egyptians did not see the heavens as distant or separate. They believed the sky was a living realm, filled with order, rhythm, and eternal cycles. The pyramids were carefully aligned with the cardinal directions so precisely that even modern instruments are amazed by their accuracy. But more than that, certain shafts and corridors inside the Great Pyramid appear to point towards specific stars that were important to ancient Egyptian belief. These stars, especially those in the constellation Orion, were associated with rebirth and the afterlife. Imagine the night thousands of years ago. No city lights, no engines, no noise, just a vast black sky filled with countless stars. From the desert floor, the pyramids would have stood like silent mountains of stone, mirroring the sky above. To the Egyptians, this alignment meant that the soul of the pharaoh could travel upward, joining the eternal stars. The pyramid was not just a tomb, it was a bridge between earth and sky, between time and eternity. Even now, under a quiet night, the pyramids seem to watch the stars in silence, as if still waiting for the souls they were built to guide. From that star-filled stillness, we drift into Fact 21, which reveals how the pyramids interact with sound in a surprisingly gentle way inside the chambers and passageways. Sound behaves differently. A soft whisper can travel farther than expected. A single hum can resonate, lingering longer than it should. Some researchers and visitors have noticed that the king's chamber, in particular, has acoustic properties that create a deep, calming resonance. Imagine standing inside that stone chamber, torchlight flickering faintly against granite walls, and letting out a low, quiet tone. The sound doesn't bounce sharply. Instead, it wraps around you, slow and heavy, like a blanket of vibration. In ancient times, chants, prayers, and rituals may have been performed in these spaces, where sound was meant to be felt as much as heard. The pyramid, in this sense, becomes not only a structure of stone, but a vessel for calm, controlled sound, a place where silence and vibration coexist in balance. Even today, the quiet inside the pyramid feels different, thicker, as if the walls themselves are listening. As we continue deeper into the stillness, we reach Fact 22, which belongs to the remarkable endurance of the pyramids through natural disasters. Over thousands of years, Egypt has experienced earthquakes, sandstorms, floods, and intense temperature changes. And yet, the pyramids remain. Their immense weight, layered construction, and wide base allow them to absorb stress without collapsing. Each stone presses gently against the next, distributing pressure evenly, creating a structure that is both massive and strangely forgiving. Imagine the slow passage of centuries, storms rising and falling, civilizations changing, languages disappearing, while the pyramids remain unmoving, patient. They do not resist nature with force, they endure through balance. This quiet strength is part of what makes them feel so calming. They are not aggressive monuments. They are stable ones. They teach a lesson in stillness that sometimes the strongest presence is the one that does not move at all. Now, softly, we arrive at fact 23, which belongs to the way the desert itself protects the pyramids. The sand that seems threatening is also a shield. Over time, layers of sand buried lower portions of the pyramids, protecting them from erosion and human interference, while the upper stones faced wind and weather. The buried stones rested in darkness, preserved by the very desert that surrounded them. At night, when the desert cools and the wind slows, the sand becomes almost comforting, smoothing out footprints, softening edges, quieting the world. The pyramids in the desert exist in a quiet partnership, stone and sand, permanence and motion, stillness and flow. Together, they create a landscape that feels timeless, where nothing rushes and nothing fades quickly. From there, we ease into fact 24, which reveals how the pyramids were once far more colorful than we imagine today. Long ago, the Great Pyramid was covered in smooth white limestone casing stones that reflected sunlight during the day and moonlight at night. Under a full moon, the pyramid would have glowed softly, almost like a pale mountain of light rising from the desert. Its peak may have been capped with a stone covered in gold or electrum, catching the last light of the setting sun. Imagine standing in the desert at night, watching the moonlight slide across the pyramid's smooth surface, turning it into a luminous presence against the dark sky. Over time, those casing stones were removed or eroded, leaving the rough texture we see today. But beneath that surface remains the memory of a pyramid that once shone gently under the stars, not harsh or blinding, but calm and radiant. And now we reach fact 25. The final truth, which belongs to the feeling the pyramids create, rather than what they physically are. Standing near them, especially at night, there is a deep sense of quiet that settles in the body. The scale slows your thoughts. The age humbles your worries. The silence feels heavy but comforting, like a deep breath held by the earth itself. The pyramids do not demand attention, they simply exist. And in doing so, they invite stillness. They remind us that time moves slowly, that human life is brief but meaningful, and that calm endurance can outlast noise, chaos, and change. And so, as this journey through the sleepy truths of the pyramids comes to an end, imagine the desert cooling under the stars. Imagine the pyramids resting exactly where they have rested for thousands of years. Unchanged, patient, silent. Let that stillness settle into your mind. Let your thoughts slow like drifting sand. Let the ancient calm of stone and sky carry you gently toward rest. Good night. Sleep well, and let history watch over your dreams.